Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. We'll go ahead and convene the meeting. It's great to see everybody. Sonia, do you or can Erica put the agenda up? I understand there's a last minute change.
Certainly, I have the agenda and we'll be happy to share it. Sharing now. Can you see it?
Thank you. Perfect. And I already took care of the first item, which I'm going to turn it over to Donna for the self-introductions.
All right, well, let's see if I could find everyone. I guess I'll just introduce myself. You probably all know me. I'm Donna Ferrugia. I'm the president of Equus Staffing, and so glad to be here. Thank you, everyone, for joining. I'm just going to do that Brady Bunch across the top, Erica, and I'm going to start with you. If you could just please introduce yourself, everyone, and your organization, that would be great.
Oh, thank you. I'm Erica Gatz with the Valley Economic Alliance. Thanks for having me. Love being at this meeting.
Hi, and Forrest.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Forrest Till. I'm with BMO, otherwise known as Bank of Montreal, previously known as Bank of the West. So some changes there. And I'm also on the board for the Alliance. So good morning, everybody.
Morning, Forrest. Hi, Jane.
Hi, good morning. I'm Jane Rosenthal-Deacon, Assistant Dean for Program Development at Cal State Northridge.
Wonderful. Carmen.
Hello, good morning. I'm Carmen Bowen. I'm the Assistant Vice President for Alumni Engagement and Community Relations at Saybrook University. And I'm also the co-chair of the DEI committee here at the Valley Economic Alliance. Good morning, everyone.
Carmen. Barry, you're next.
Good morning, everybody. Barry Gribbins, president of Los Angeles Valley College.
Awesome. Hi, Ajit.
Hi, good morning, Donna. My name is Ajit Dodani. I'm an empathy strategist. I'm fondly known as the CFO that speaks empathy and KPIs in the same sentence. We work with large and small for-profit, nonprofit educational organizations and bring strategic empathy to your organization.
And thank you for doing that. I have M. Jordan.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Michelle Jordan, and I am the operations supervisor here at the Canoga Park Workforce Center. And thank you for having us again.
Thanks, Michelle. Nathan, how are you?
Hey, good morning, everyone. Nathan Long, president of Saybrook University, and good to be here. Also a board member of the Alliance.
Wonderful. And I so apologize. I'm going to do what your screen name says. I see Jay Milan.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Juan Millan. I'm with the EDD Labor Market Information Division. Glad to be here.
It's so good to have you. Thank you. Hi, Fred.
Good morning, everybody. Fred Gaines. I'm with Law Offices of Gaines and Stacy, and I'm chair of the Valley Economic Alliance. Thank you all for being with us today.
So good to have you, Fred. And how about Freddie?
We have a couple of Freds in the room. Hi, Freddie Salcedo, Dean with Career Education and Workforce Development at Glendale Community College. And I'm also a Board of Governors member.
Hi, Freddie. Stephen Contreras. Oop, you're muted, Stephen. We'll give it a second. I'll come back to you, okay? All right. Hi, Shafali.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Shafali Mystery, AVP for Government and Community Relations at CSUN and VEA board member.
Hi. I have Ara. I don't have a video, but I see that you're on audio.
I know. Good morning, everyone. I'm kind of remote and I have a computer that for some reason I can't get it to work. So I'm Ara Aguiar and I am the interim president at Pierce College.
Welcome.
Good to see everyone. And good morning.
Yeah, wish we could see you, but we can hear you.
I'm going to work on it. I'll keep working on it.
Okay. And good morning, Leila.
Hi, Leila Lee, Director of Small Business and Economic Policy at the Mayor's Office of Business and Economic Development. Thank you for having me.
So good to have you. And Evelyn. Evelyn, I can't hear you, so I'll give you a second. Otherwise, I'll go to Stephen and let's see if we could hear Stephen.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Sorry about that. Stephen Contreras, District Manager, Wells Fargo, and I'm also on the board of the Alliance.
Awesome. I think I got everyone. And I'm just going to go to Sonia. And Sonia, you can introduce yourself and start for us.
Wonderful. Now, did we do Donna? I'm sorry, there's a Donna I see. Did we do?
Oh, I was assuming that was me, but is there another Donna on there?
No. Okay. Okay. No worries. So I will go ahead. Thank you, Donna, so much. And thank you, Barry, for getting the meeting kicked off here. I did want to share with you all some wonderful workforce data reports we've received from EDD. And Juan, welcome. I'm so glad that you hopped on. It's always great to have our colleague from EDD hop on and available for us because he's got such great information. So the Alliance received several updates from EDD every month. And since we meet quarterly, I wanted to just share with you some of the documents. And what we'll do is we'll post these on our website as presentation materials for today's meeting. So by the way, I should introduce myself. I'm Sonia Blake, and I'm President and CEO of the Valley Economic Alliance. I've been on board for 3 years now, and it's a joy and a pleasure to do this work. At the Alliance, we do several things: economic development through our free business assistance programs and revitalization of area neighborhoods. We have our workforce development initiatives, sustainability and housing, and generally we're a community and economic development organization to help improve the quality of life and raise the standards of living across our region, which includes 5 beautiful cities: Burbank, Glendale, Calabasas, Los Angeles, and San Fernando. So let me show you some of the documents that we've received from that EDD has done on various reports. So in March, they created this labor market info minute on the entertainment industry, which is really fascinating. Now, these reports are LA County wide. They're not specifically for the Valley. So that we should keep in mind. And when we take a look at the data here, we see that the motion picture industry in terms of Los Angeles County, we have more soundstage space than some countries. So we're a huge industry in that regard. And then as well as the number of people working in the industry, we're also 4th behind some other the other states. So it's really good to know kind of where we are. Motion picture and sound recording makes up 65% of the information industry. So that is the particular category that the entertainment industry is categorized according to. So we'll have these documents for you so you can see them. I will try to share them out in the chat as well as we go on with our program. You'll notice that our shoot days hover at almost 40,000 and then really dipped during the pandemic, but it's come back up significantly. So that's really exciting to see the industry bouncing back. In April, EDD published this LMI Minute, Occupations in Demand. And this one ties in really nicely with some of the work that we're doing with our talent pipeline and our workforce market and how we want to develop and be a real force for developing our workforce for the Valley, really strengthening it. So top occupational projections here, you'll see personal care aides is by far the largest segment, which is important to note that our workforce programs will be featuring in large part the healthcare industry because it is such a great need. There's also food prep and serving and cashiers. Those are the top 3. And you can see the amount of growth in those industries to the right of the green arrow by each bar. So this is interesting. But then I think it moves into something that's very interesting. When you look at occupational projections by skill level, and this can correspond to the income earning capability. So when you think about minimum wage versus a middle income, and then some of the jobs with greater financial advancement, you'll see that the ones that are growing most are a lot of the entry-level positions. So that's not going to yield the high-paying jobs where it offers a great career advancement. So we have to be mindful of that. Now, there are the middle skill jobs, and these are ones that have some, good kind of advancement potential, or starting to have some income potential here. And then we've seen a decrease in one of those particular areas, bookkeeping, accounting, and audit clerks. But there is some growth in middle income jobs. So we want to be able to really feature and focus those positions for our workforce. And then thirdly, and finally, these are high skill positions that have growth potential that we really want to make sure that we are shining a light on the community college and other training programs that train people as general operations managers, registered nurses, business operations specialists, accountants, and auditors. So I think those are some interesting observations from that report. I'm going to go to the next report, and then I'll leave some time. No pressure, Juan. If you wanted to make any comments, you can add some to this if you'd like, or not necessarily so. The third report, the one for May, focused on gross domestic product for LA County and the size and economic strength of our county. So that's not specifically related to workforce. So I will share that document out in the chat and then on our website, and you'll be able to check that out if and when you'd like to. There's a final document here, a presentation, labor market info that focuses on the industry sectors ranked by employment size. You can see private education and health services is the largest. Here, this is interesting to see online job advertisements. Who's advertising for jobs? These are the top employers in LA County that are advertising online for some jobs. And then these are the top occupations that are currently being advertised, or at least in March. And some other really great info. Lastly, I just wanted to call your attention to the unemployment rates by city. For our 5 cities, these are the months that were reported that I have data for from EDD. And so you can get a sense of the unemployment rates. The most recent so far is April. Where you can see what are the unemployment rates. I think it's interesting that Calabasas has a slightly higher unemployment rate and San Fernando has a slightly lower than the average of all of our 5 cities. So that's interesting. And I think we'll drill down into and try to investigate why that might be. So there's a little bit about our workforce and some data that might be of interest to you all. And I wonder if Juan, you have anything to add, or if anyone has any comments or questions. Juan, first you, welcome by the way, and thank you for the data.
Wonderful. I'm glad that you're sharing this very insightful information because it's just right online. It's information we need to know. Just one thing I want to mention, and it's good news in regards to the occupational data. In our website, we now have 2020, 2030 projections, and it just came out last week. So we have new projections data for the occupations in demand.
Fantastic. Would you mind sending me a link, Juan? If you don't mind, if you can find it, I could do the research after the call. If not, but if you have a link, I would love to share that out. Thank you. Any comments or questions on Freddie, please?
Hey, Sonia, great data, and I like how it's organized. And on my end, when we share with our faculty and staff, we need to synthesize it, summarize it, and make it relevant for their respective subject areas and industry sectors that they support. Well, 2 questions. Can this report be shared with us so that we can disseminate it in a PDF file?
Yes.
Okay, great, awesome. And then my second question is there, Juan, you mentioned that this data is in the EDD website, but is it available in this format as far as like a PDF and a summarized form?
At this point, because our alumni minutes and our economic summary are locally produced at the LA County web level, we're not posting them in our website, but you can reach out to me for any updates. We do have a distribution list for these products. It just we'll make sure we get them out to you.
Okay. And typically, what's the frequency that it's updated? Is it quarterly, biannually, annually?
Quarterly.
Quarterly? Okay, great. Okay, sounds good. I'll reach out. Thank you.
Terrific. Well, awesome. If there are other comments or questions, feel free to put them in the chat or reach out to me afterwards. And in the meantime, I just want to pass it back over to you, Barry, if you had any comments or questions, or shall we go ahead and move on to the committee discussion?
Yeah, let's go ahead and go to the committee discussion.
Terrific. Okay, wonderful. Well, a great update that we have is we are moving forward with our employer research, and we're really digging into the data thanks to our community college presidents who insightfully observed that we need to conduct some primary research. We have a lot of secondary data on the workforce and growing occupations. We need to talk to our employers directly and see what skill sets they're seeking and what are their workforce needs, and see where the jobs actually are, so that when people come out and graduate from these short-term vocational training programs, there'll be a job waiting for them on the other side. So we sought to undertake that. And we have a great partner. Leila Lee from the LA Mayor's Office has agreed to partner with with us on this. And what's awesome and amazing is that the scope of the project is able to really capture great amounts of data. So we're going to have Leila do a presentation to us about where we are in it. The project is moving forward very steadily. It's slowly but surely, though, because we want to do this right and we want to do it well the first time. So we're taking our time. We're taking more time than we originally planned to, so that we can increase the scope and size and capture a very good sample size and get some good quality data. So I'm so thankful Leila's with us to give us a little bit of a status update report. Thank you, Leila, for your partnership on this, for persevering, even though there have been ups and downs and it's taking a little bit of time, but thank you for persevering with us and partnering us so that we'll get there. And Leila, let's just hear from you on your take on the status of things.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sonia. And I apologize. We were aiming for last month, but unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be this month that we're going to be launching this, distributing this survey. So we're hoping to distribute through our office, the mayor's office, as well as the Office of Finance, who has over, I believe, 200 to 300,000 businesses that the survey will go to. In addition to that, we're also looking to do it through distribute through RAMP LA. So we also have access through business through that. I believe we may also get some business that are not within the city of LA also answering some of the questions as well. So just because we have a larger pool that we're trying to go after, but we're definitely kind of trying to ask people to only answer the survey if they have a business in San Fernando Valley. So that will be the goal. In addition to that, we're working with Beacon Economics and EDD to kind of start looking into some of the data, the local specific data that's available to us. So what we have been tasked with is really kind of looking into what are some of the questions that we want Beacon Economics to work on. So what is some of the metrics that we're looking for. So I would love for this group to also provide some insights into what the TVA would want to what kind of data we will be looking for, so then we can add that as a component of some of the data that we are looking for to attain. And what's really exciting about this data is it really can track the employment at the micro level. We can see how many employees are working at a specific location. That's how micro of a level we're looking at. And the data that we have is actually from 2008. So we're looking at the history of that micro level data from 2008 to, I believe, 2023.
Fantastic. This is really exciting. Thank you for doing this work and amplifying it and making it even better than we thought. So any questions for Leila? I'll get us started with one quick question is I just want to circle back with Barry, and maybe we need to talk with Michelle, because now that we're looking at such an expanded scope of the number of businesses we're reaching out to, we started out wanting to reach to 5,000, maybe get a sample size of, I guess, 50 or something if we have 1% return response rate. Then we grew to 20,000, which was great. But now that we're up to 200,000, I just want to make sure that the system, the surveying system we put in place is going to be able to receive that capacity. I don't know if you'd like to circle back with Michelle on that. Shall we circle back with Michelle and just make sure, or do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's no problem.
Oh.
The system will be able to handle the response activity with no problem. On the open-ended items, we didn't plan for any coding, so sifting through the open-ended items might be a little bit longer, but the system will be able to handle the volume easily.
That's great news. Okay, great. So if we could get 2,000 responses, we'll really be able to drill down into the information and get some great understanding here.
Yeah, that'll be terrific. And Leila, thank you so much. That's exciting to see the announcements go out, and it'll be fun to see what data rolls in.
Thank you for your patience. You know, one of the challenges that we have in the past is people don't want to answer surveys. So that's why we're trying to go for the largest group that we can go for, because, you know, we're certain that maybe we'll get 1% or even less. So, so that's the goal here.
Beautiful. Any other comments or questions? Freddie.
I think, so going back to your statement, Leila, as far as response rate, if a link can be shared with us so that some of us that have professional or business affiliated social media accounts, we can share it with relevant groups, I think we'll get, far reach. That's been pretty effective in the past as far as just targeting specific Instagram accounts, Twitter pages, things like that. And I think just with a shortened URL, if you have a QR code as well, that works, nicely for folks to just scan and go directly to the survey. But if that can be kind of packaged up so that we can help as a committee spread the word and get more responses, that'd be helpful.
What a great idea. We do have a link to the survey that LA Valley College has prepared. We had a nice little intro letter, and then we have a link to the survey, so we can share that out. No problem. And I love your idea of a QR code. We'll have one created, and then we'll put it together in a little package and send it out to the committee all together.
Great.
Terrific. Okay, great. So any further comments or questions, feel free to send those along. And next item on the agenda is the phone or Zoom survey. So we've talked about, low response rates and getting people's attention, can be challenging. So in addition to the online survey or the email survey, we also want to do some phone surveys or connecting with people via Zoom. A smaller group, and this will help us to not only get more data, drill down, have conversations with folks. It'll also help us to build relationships with our major employers in the region. Talk to them, see what they're interested in, get them engaged. So let's see. So what I want to do here is share with you, these are some of the companies that I've identified as our large employers in the Valley, and we have a special concentration in healthcare. We also looked at biotech as a very strong vertical, and we're including tech companies and others that may have technology applications and interest in hiring technology-based employees. And those are our three kind of, strong emphases that we want to focus on, but we do want to have a variety of employers. So you'll see major corporations in entertainment and manufacturing, food-based, We've got 2 folks from the same company there. I'm going to scroll through the list. These are in alpha order here. Some of these folks we've talked to, and they say that they're having a hard time finding the employees, or they're concerned about having to let go longstanding employees when they modernize their work floor. The workshop, their employees can no longer keep pace with the equipment and the processes that they're now needing to use. And so they're trying to figure out, like, can they get the training for their existing workforce? And I know that's something that the community college really does. So we want to make sure that people know about these and connect the dots if our colleges can create customized programs for some of these manufacturers. In particular, I've heard that from American Fruits and Flavors and Anheuser-Busch. I'm really looking for these employees. Some of these folks we have relationships with, and some of them we do not. Just talked to CCRC yesterday, and they're having a hard time finding enough preschool teachers for all of the programs that there are. DDN is a major data company. Entertainment, food, these are the ones. So I just share with you, there are 120 or so of these companies that we're looking at, that we've identified. Some of them are ready to hear from us, ready to go, like the Walt Disney Company that's teed up and ready to talk to us, Netflix also, and many of these others. So there are 125 or so far, and I'm just wondering, putting it out to the group, what other companies and executives should be included in these employer interviews, if folks have some perspective on that question? Anyone have input about that, or does it seem like 120 is a good number? I mean, we probably won't get interviews with all of them, but it'll be maybe 2 of us at a time will connect with these particular companies. We have a caller who will get on the phone and seek to schedule those appointments, and then we'll preferably do them via Zoom. If they're not comfortable doing Zoom, then we can do them by phone. And then we'll have to look at our survey questions, our online survey questions, and see if they need to be tweaked to be more appropriate for an interview format. Maybe it needs to be more conversational, or maybe it'll be a little bit different.
Yeah, and that, Sonia, what we'll do is we'll develop an interview protocol for the interviews. So I'll work with Michelle to draft that up. We will adapt the questions from the email survey. I think that the numbers, we want to make sure that we don't miss any key companies. So if anyone has any key companies that feel that should be included, we want to get them on there. But I think our target originally was going to be around 50. So we have a good sample size so far.
I agree. Dr. Grivens, for the sample size or the pool, are we also planning on focusing on emerging sectors and or companies that might not be established yet, but let's say 6 months from now, a year from now, they are planning on launching their business and there's going to be a need, in the near future. So technically they wouldn't be captured via the initial recruitment because they're not active. But if they're emerging, or if there's a big development happening in a specific region or sub-region, that'll probably be a good focus of the sample size. It's a really good idea, Freddie. It wasn't really the intent of this survey. And perhaps we should have a follow-up survey for emerging businesses. This one was really intended for large companies. Got it. In the San Fernando Valley. But you raise a really important point, and I think it would be terrific to do the next project on emerging companies, emerging sectors. Yeah, sounds good. I like it. Ajit, I see your hand.
Thanks, Barry. This is my wheelhouse, right? Employee surveys and engagement. How do we make sure that people are being honest and being able to safely state their viewpoints? Because as we know, most people lie in surveys. So how do you create a trusting space for them when we do these interviews?
So for the interviews, it's not going to be with individual employees, but it'll probably be with executives. And it'll be about their needs in hiring. Most employers will have an incentive, to be honest, because we're just trying to help. We're trying to help make sure that Glendale, Mission Valley, Pierce, other CSUN, all the education institutions are training to what their needs are and finding ways that we can help support them. So if they lie to us, then that's not gonna, we're not gonna be able to help them.
I hear that. I missed that portion there. Gotcha. Appreciate that.
No worries. Maybe a challenge, sometimes connecting with the right folks at each of the companies. So that will probably be a little bit of a challenge, but we have it, our interests are merely to support the companies. Terrific. I'm not seeing a lot of folks immediately think of additional names. Sonia, if it's okay, can we have people keep thinking about it and email you with additional names?
Yes, in fact, I did put a link to the Google Doc in the chat in case people want to just take a closer look. It's always hard to think on the fly, but you'll have some time to look at the document. And then I gave people edit access. So anyone with the link can edit. You can go in there and add companies to the bottom of the list. And, and we'll see your suggestions. And then maybe, Barry, do we want to bring it down to just 50? Or we'll probably end up having 50 interviews from the list of 120. Is that what we're talking about? Or we wanted to start with 50 and bring it down from there?
No, I think we're fine where it's at. And I think you're right. There'll be some natural attrition with scheduling the interviews. So it'll be okay.
Yeah, okay. And Freddie's asking, is the list by industry, sector, cluster? This list is just an alpha order, and it's from the LA Business Journal, some of the largest employers, private, and some of the ones that are in industries that we're looking at, like biotech. So that was kind of how we created the list. Largest employers, biotech, and then just companies that we've talked to that we know are manufacturers. Manufacturers, some of the largest manufacturers too. Some of the companies that have said to us, we really need to work some things out. We really need help with our workforce. So that's how we created the list. But we're open to whomever you think we should add to the list. Maybe we could get it up to like 130 tops. And then from there, we'll start trying to schedule appointments. So if there are any industry sectors that you see are missing and you want to suggest a company or you want to suggest a sector, then let us know. We really focused on healthcare, biotech, some technology, and then just large employers.
There's with the duplication too, we're probably, that's going to bring the number down just a little bit.
Oh, yes.
I think we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, that's true. I have a couple contacts from some of these companies. We'll be talking to both of them in the same meeting, most likely. So,
and there's one company that that's pretty far outside of our focus, but only one that I noticed.
Would you say?
Tejon Ranch.
Oh, yes. Now, why is that? For some reason, maybe they have a lot of employees in the Valley or something. They're on the list, but we can remove folks also.
Yeah, they're on the border of Kern County.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sonia, when you say largest employer, what is the delimiting factor there? Is it over 1,000 employees, 2,500? Is there a certain threshold?
You know what? There isn't a cutoff. It really just is as defined by the San Fernando Valley Business Journal's book of lists. Okay. And some of these have 1,000 employees. I can't remember what is the smallest on that list. I don't remember offhand, but there are companies. I'd say these companies I'm guessing they have at least 100 employees from the various lists we pulled.
And do we want to, out of curiosity, just make sure I'm clear. So I know you're focused right now, or our focus is on biotech. Do we want healthcare, anything like that, and any of the hospital entities within SFV, or no?
We do. We want healthcare and biotech and tech.
Got it.
Especially, we want a nice variety. but we do want to get input, especially from those 3 sectors, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's a couple of hospitals we'll probably want to add, Sonia.
How
I'm
about
not
digital
sure- I'm not
marketing,
sure.
Sonia? How about digital marketing?
Digital marketing, yeah, that's a really hot area. If they're a large company in digital marketing, that would be really good. Yeah, if you know of a specific company name that we should, try, that's a large company, then that's great. And then in terms of a vertical, I can look up some of those and see if there's someone that has got a good size. Let me look at that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
thank
that's a growing industry, and every business needs digital marketing implemented in their marketing strategy.
That's so good. Yes.
That might come out when we're talking to the Disneys and all the other big companies, that those are the
Yeah.
skills, that they're hiring as well.
Yeah.
Janet, because you're right, whether it's an agency that needs to hire their own core digital marketing staff, or the big companies that need their in-house staff, they need them. Yeah.
So as a good example, iHeartMedia may be a good one to add, Sonia. And then on the healthcare side, Kaiser Permanente, I don't think I saw it in Northridge Hospital.
Yes. Great.
Another one, Sonia, is ResMed in Chatsworth. They have hired quite a few of our folks, and they are always looking to hire. So, and they do the CPAP machines there.
What company is that?
It's called ResMed, ResMed, and they do the CPAP machines.
Isn't that great? Thank you.
And since you have the sheriff's department, we have to include the LAPD. We'll want to include the LAPD.
Yes. Sheriff's Department has come to this committee and has participated in our job fair and things like that. So they're really actively, and LAPD is also very interested. So definitely great.
Yeah.
And Juan, did you have a comment or question? Please.
Yes, I do. Just to let you know, I can provide you with a top employer list for LA County.
Yes.
Just so you can know who the top employers are in general by size range. I can also provide you with top employers in LA County by job ad data. And that may be helpful also.
Yes, please do. We'll cross-check that against what we already have, and maybe we'll find some additional folks. That's great. Thank you.
I also sent out in the chat a link, which is for the EDD size of business report. This is not going to identify any employers in particular, but it will give you an idea of the number of employers by size range. For example, LA County has, off the top of my head, about 150 employers that employ more than 1,000 workers or employees. And so that type of information and numbers, you'll be able to see in that link that I sent, just for you to get an idea. So it's an employer size range report to get some insight on that. I thought I'd share.
Thank you so much. That's very helpful. Great. Well, the conversation will continue. We're refining the list, and we'll continue to do that. And so let's say we'll give it until this Friday for people to provide input on the list. We'll get our list in shape, and then we'll start on the interview protocol and move that forward while we're moving forward with our email campaign. Great, everybody. Great input. Thank you. Thank you. And here is our agenda again. So we're back to here. So shall I go ahead and pass it on to Dr. Long? Why don't I do that? Another project that we're working on. So in addition to the research that we're doing, we're looking at writing up a strategic brief on our talent market. What's happening in the market, and what are the recommendations, best practices, and solutions we would like to see happen in the region to help really connect the dots between our job seekers and our employers and get both constituents what they need. And so Dr. Nathan Long, from president of Saybrook University, is doing some great work helping us get our arms around our talent market and describe some of the best practices that we'd like to see. And it's facilitating quite a bit of partnership among a lot of different stakeholders. So thank you, Nathan, for your amazing work. And are there any thoughts that you would like to share with the group at this time?
You're very kind. I don't know that it's amazing, but we're trudging along. Okay. Really appreciate the time here. I'll be brief. So at this point in time, we are working on the paper itself. We're trying to keep it as brief as possible, but rich with data. One, your information you shared today was pure gold to me. So thank you for that. That's going to be very important for us in moving forward. We're also, Leila, thank you for the update on the workforce development survey. I think we need that data, those data sets, to help inform some of the conclusions that we'll be making going forward. And then I'm also in the process right now of interviewing business alliance partners. Sonia, thank you for the recommendations. I've already started those interviews. I think when you read some of these, it's going to be very inspiring to see what the Valley Economic Alliance is doing, along with the potential that's out there across the Valley as we move forward with this talent development strategy. So that's all kind of coming together at this moment in time. We've had a few setbacks so I've had to make adjustments to the process. Some of our partners in the writing process and the development piece have had to step away for one reason or another due to professional obligations. So at this point in time, we've had to sort of recoup and refigure out where we need to head with that. So definitely optimistic, but Sonia and I have already talked through. I think we're looking probably for a fall date to drop this document once we get the data sets from the surveys. One, your information that you just sent out, I think the updated information, and then some of the drill down that we'll do separately with the SFV area, especially with the census data, will help. But very, very good progress, I think, at this point. I appreciate the folks' help. And I'll be reaching out to committee members for additional guidance and maybe leaning on you for some additional data sets. So thank you for that. Sonia, is there anything I missed there or anything you'd like to add?
No, I think that's great. Oh, well, you know what I would say is like the purpose of the document. So the idea is once we compile our strategy, our recommended strategy for improving and strengthening our workforce, our talent market, then we'll get community input. So we'll be inviting input at one of our next committee meetings from the public to make sure that we're being very community-based and that we give people the opportunity to weigh in and talk about their experiences and what they think is needed to, especially our job seekers, and maybe seeking out the input of folks who are working in low-income positions, entry-level positions, middle income, and then the higher earning positions, and get some testimonials from folks in the job market, get some testimonials from employers as well to add some color to this, and then include that input. And then we'll be taking this to our elected officials and other leaders in the region to help make change, to see if we'll pass it to our partners at VICA who can look at legislative change. We will take it to others who can look at funding particular initiatives or programs or policies that might be useful. So all this work is toward the end of making change and making an impact. And I want us to just keep that in mind why we're doing what we're doing. It's very important work. So thank you so much, Nathan, for persevering as we put this together. It's not easy, but it's definitely going to be worth it. So appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you, Sonia and Nathan. And the last item we have on the agenda is with Donna, the Workforce of the Future Leadership Director. Donna?
Oh, yes, thank you. You've all probably heard us say this before, but on the Alliance website, we have a link to a directory. And what this directory is it's a listing of all of the professional volunteers, if you will, that are registered to for us to access when we need to speak with people about or get advice on skills and curriculum and things like that. So this is called our leadership directory. And what we're asking is that you register on this directory so that when we need to reach out to you, we have your information. And what we might reach out to you for are things like guest speaking in a classroom, or introducing your company at a career fair, or maybe doing mock interviews or job shadowing, things like that, to really help, unite students and education and business and employers. So this directory is important. We have actually thought about, well, at least Freddie and I have thought about making it mandatory for everyone, but right now it's a volunteer basis, and we're looking for volunteers, and we're hoping you would go to this directory and register. Now, I think there is a link in the agenda that you could just go, and it takes you right to this document. So I think that's a live link, right, Sonia?
Yes, it is. And in fact, I'll go ahead and put it in the chat right now to make it even more convenient.
Donna,
Awesome.
I am right on there filling it out at this moment. So it's super easy.
Oh, Nathan, thank you.
Me too. I'm filling it out
Jane.
also.
Jade, awesome. Well, you all know we appreciate it, and yeah, and I think it's very important. So
Can you
thanks,
put it
Sonia.
in the chat, please?
Yes,
Thanks,
I
Janet.
just popped it in the chat. It's the Workforce of the Future directory, so you'll see that there. Now, I'd love to ask Freddie, because I know, Freddie, this was a wonderful idea that you had when you were sharing what would be very useful for the community colleges to really engage industry and get their feedback and engagement and involvement. And I'm wondering, Freddie, how do you think it's working? Do you think that what would be the next step? Shall we share this out to the community colleges? Have you been able to use the document, and have you been able to engage anyone in this? Because we also want to, know maybe what's happening, and maybe have some success stories or metrics around, what's happening once people are signing up. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that one, but I'd love to hear about it if you do.
Yes, definitely. And for when the reason why this was shared was at the college level, but also the secondary level, and with our four-year university partners. At times, our programs, our faculty, they can be disconnected from industry, right? So when it comes to having their industry advisory committees, or just connecting with them to update curriculum, stay current in the field, it's hard. And they rely on us. And of course, we're out there, networking and so forth. But if we already have systems in place and partnerships like the Valley Economic Alliance that has, or it's closer connected to business and industry, then what a better method and system to tap into those connections and really just develop almost like a live depository, so that it can just stay current, stay updated. It can be part of, so this is what Donna was referring to as we have new members come on board, we could offer it to them, right? And it can be tailored to your interests, your time frame, as far as commitments and so forth. So at the end of the day, what we would like to do is, when we're having our advisory committees, when we're needed to update curriculum, if we need to expand more when it comes to these subject matter experts in these industries, instead of being inefficient with it, we can tap into this list. And then we can reach out and make connections, based on this list. So I've already used it a couple of times as far as our program advisories, when our faculty are having trouble finding partners at the small, medium, or large level. I've looked and see, okay, do we have someone represented by industry here? And then, refer them to be connected. And it's a nice introduction because we're using our partnership with the Valley Economic Alliance. So it's a softer, type of introduction as opposed to a cold call being made. So I think it has a lot of potential, again, not only for the community college level, but also our four-year university partners and also our secondary level programs. All of their CTE programs are required to be connected with industry, and they also struggle, with having current and ongoing connections with industry. So it has a lot of potential. The last item I wanted to share was, if you notice in the survey, there's already a list of industry sectors and clusters. And I think that might be what we can do, or just a suggestion on that other form. So as we're adding names and lists to that, we can just kind of mirror that. So now we have kind of a standardized categorization by industry and or sector. And by the way, that list is by the state of California. So it's very closely aligned with the national cluster list. There's 15 here, and then there's 16 at the national level, but is very much closely aligned.
Very helpful. That's really good feedback. Thank you. I will take a look at that and make sure we include all the clusters as much as we can. That's really great. I guess what we could do also is, I don't know, Dr. Aguiar, if you have access to this list, we can share that out with you. Now that we've kind of tested it with Glendale as our prototype, came up with this wonderful idea, we could share it out with other institutions if you think it would likewise be helpful for you.
Oh, absolutely. It would be great. Everything. I mean, a lot of the information you've been sharing is very useful for us.
Okay, wonderful. So we'll make sure that we share like the back end of the workforce of workforce of the future directory with all of our educational partners, LAUSD, our community colleges, our universities. Make sure that you at least have access to it so you can get these wonderful industry leaders who said that they would be a part of creating curriculum and speaking in classrooms and doing all that good stuff. I also just want to acknowledge that recently we've been strengthening our partnerships with our colleges. We had our regional summit at CSUN in January, which was phenomenally well received, and we would like to do that every year. We had a nonprofit convening at Valley College, along with the Community Foundation of the Valleys and the Nonprofit Resource Center at CSUN. The CSUN Nonprofit Resource Center held this wonderful nonprofit convening at Valley College. Thank you so much for Dr. Gribbins for hosting us for that phenomenal event. We had our Steve Allen Excellence in Education Awards at Pierce College, which was a beautiful facility and a great time where we recognized national and global achievement of local Valley schools and students. Won amazing awards, and we feature that work and let them know that we want them to stay in the Valley and start businesses here and start their families here and get their jobs here and keep that brain power here locally. And if they go away to college, and they'll come back here and think of us again. And then this Friday, we're going to have our business summit at LA Mission College in Sylmar. This is going to be about 200 people so far have registered and growing. And it's going to be an amazing business summit with various aerospace manufacturers, construction companies are well represented. We're focusing on contracting and procurement and access to capital for growing employers. We really want this to help create those relationships and networking and partnerships so that our local employers can grow. So this is our business summit. So really, really shout out to the community college partners, and hope you all will consider joining us for our summit. We should put that link in the chat for you. And then I guess that's it. Back to you, Barry or Donna, if you had any other closing comments.
No, what perfect timing. We're actually going to finish up 6 minutes early. Thank you, everybody. Sonia, thank you for that. Thank you for those announcements and all the amazing work. We're all excited to go to LA Mission College Friday for the employer engagement event. Donna, anything to add?
Only that our next meeting, Barry, is scheduled for September, right? I think our next meeting is scheduled for September 13th. I think it's a virtual meeting as of now. So put that on your calendar, everyone. We love to see you.
Awesome. Thank you,
is there going to be a time when we can all get together and meet each other so that we know we're able to share what our strengths are and what we can bring to the table?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Sonia, perhaps we can connect and find an opportunity for folks who are here to connect in person.
Yes, yes. Now we do have our Valley Growth Lab in-person program about once a month when we're not doing our gala, you know. And so if you go to thevalley.net/events, just about every month we have wonderful opportunities to connect. I think, Janet, you attended one, so you know about this. But for
Yeah,
this
I
committee-
was thinking more for the workforce education for this group.
Yeah.
To get together and exchange information.
Yes, yes, indeed. Yeah.
You know, we did have an in-person meeting. I think it was like 2 meetings ago. It was in person, and Barry and Sonia and I, you know, we all said, this is amazing because, you know, we were cooped up for so many years,
Right.
it seems like. And when we all got together, Janet, it just felt so good. So I think we should talk about it, Barry. See when we have that, our next committee meeting in person. So
Yeah, that sounds good.
Thank you.
thank you, Janet.
Great idea.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks, everybody. It's terrific seeing everybody.
Thank you.
Glad that we're able to give you a couple of minutes back in your day, even if it's only a couple. And I
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you all September 13th.
Okay,
Thank you, everybody.
Wonderful.
Thanks,
all.
Donna. Thanks, Sonia. Thanks,
Thank
everybody.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
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 Thanks,
Good
everybody.
to see you. Thank
Thanks,
you so
everyone.
much. Bye.